Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Brianna and this is For Pause in a Book. I make book and lifestyle related content, so if that's something that you're interested in, make sure that you hit the subscribe button down below. Today we are going to be doing the end of the year book tag. So this tag was originally created by Ariel Bassett a long time ago. 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. And I try to do a variation of it every year. My thing is that I always wait until like the end of November to do it. And this tag really is meant to prep you for the end of the year, not necessarily for you to do at the end of the year. Because it is talking about like the end of the year plans, and believe it or not, we are in the end of the year. It is the last quarter of the year. We are prepping for the end of the year. So I figured I would do it a little bit early. That just makes more sense for me. So, because this is talking about like trying to finish the year, and you can't really make plans to finish the year if you only have 3 or 4 weeks left. It doesn't work. So I will have all of the questions down below in the description if you would like to do this tag. I will also have Ariel's video linked below as well. The first question is, are there any books that you have started and still need to finish? And the answer is yes. This is the first year this has happened. Generally, I'm really good about having just 1 or 2 books on my currently reading shelf, and like those are the books that I'm actively working on. This year has not been that way. I have 3 books that I haven't touched in, for some of these, like months, okay? So let's talk about them. We're gonna do it in the order of me, like, taking them off. Like, they're still on my currently reading, but, like, not actively reading them anymore. We have Beyond the Black Door by A.M. Strickland. I started reading this for the 48-hour round of Bookopoly-thon, so back in May or June, something like that. I made it 109 pages in, and that's where the bookmark sits. I think it was just that I read it for, like, the Bookopoly-thon, and then, like, just didn't continue on with it for some reason. Whether that was because you had to, like, move on to the next prompt, I don't know. I don't know why I didn't finish this. I was enjoying it, which is why I didn't take it off of my currently reading. But, yeah, I still have a good 300 pages or so. I do think that I just could continue on with this. I think I remember enough of what was going on, which honestly is fascinating. I don't normally remember things. But this one I don't have an audiobook for, which I think might have been the problem, is that I was having to read it physically. So that's why I was going slower. Because I just do audiobooks now. That's all it is. Okay, I have Horror Hotel, which I would like to finish this month, but I started this for Summerween, and wasn't enjoying it that much, but I wasn't not enjoying it enough to just DNF it, so I'll probably just try to, like, finish this one out. I probably just have, like, 100 pages or so. Yeah, a little over 100 pages. So this one shouldn't take too long. This is about a group of YouTubers that go into this hotel for, like, a YouTube video, and it's haunted. So it was one of those things that, like, at this point, I don't care if any of them die. So that's why, like, it hasn't been a book that I've, like, wanted to re-pick up. But it was for Summerween. And again, like, it was after Summerween. I didn't want to read spooky books. So, but then, like, on the flip side of that, I am still in the middle of Snapped by Alexa Martin. I was reading this book for the football romance video that I was doing a couple of weeks ago, and I am in the same place that I was when that video ended. I have not gotten past the 61 page mark, because, like, after that video, it was spooky season, and I want to read spooky books, right? So, this has not moved. Just been sitting on my shelf with a bookmark in it, and I was really enjoying that book, so I do want to finish it. I just want to read the spooky books right now, and you can only do so much. The next question is, do you have an autumnal book to transition you into the end of the year? I think I've kind of already done that, so I'm like full on in spooky mode. Like, I am reading all of the spooky things, and I'm living my best life. I'm loving it. But one book that I really do want to get to that's not on my TBR, like, it would have been cheating to, like, just put my October TBR on here. But we have Cackle by Rachel Harrison. I picked this up because Michelle from Michelle's Library was reading it on sprints and ended up giving it 5 stars. And then a lot of people during Halloween weekend have been giving it 5 stars. And so I purchased it. And yeah, I know that this has really mixed reviews because a lot of people don't think that it should be horror, and it was classified as horror, and it was actually on the Goodreads Choice Awards last year for horror, but it's not really a horror. It's kind of cozy horror, I think, but that actually makes me more interested in it, honestly. And then one of the other things that I really want to do is transition into dark academia, and at least like try it out. That's going to probably be more of a January thing. But one of the ones that I do want to get to at the end of the year or before the end of the year is Babel by R.F. Kuang. I had an arc of this and I didn't read it. I started to, and then I got sidetracked with stuff, and it was really hard to read on my Kindle. I wanted like a physical book to be able to write in. It's hard to do notes on your Kindle. You can do it, but it's harder. So I wanted a physical book. So yeah, I would like to read this one. I think Dark Academia, a lot of people started reading it in September. I feel like it's more of a winter thing, so November to January type of idea. So I would like to read this one. This one will kind of transition me into those winter months. The next question is there a new release that you are still waiting for? I actually have an entire video that I'll link up above about my Q4 releases. And I think that the first ones that I talked about are coming out as you're seeing this, I think today. So some of the standouts, Lore Olympus Volume 3 comes out, I think today, or sometime this month. Shipwrecked by Olivia Dade is one of my most anticipated releases. Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail. I've already read that one, but still an anticipated release. There's a bunch. I have a lot. So check out that video. The next question is, what are 3 books that you would like to read by the end of the year? I have a couple of books that are finales to trilogies, or they catch up in a series. So I think that's a good goal, to finish out the year. There is a final book support group, readathon that's happening in November, over Thanksgiving weekend, or Thanksgiving week. So that I'd really like to participate in and be able to read some of these. So we have The Final Gambit by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the 3rd and final book in the Inheritance Games trilogy that I really enjoyed. It's a YA mystery about a girl who is given a large inheritance, and she has no idea why, because she's never met the guy. And I really liked the first one. I didn't like the second one. I felt like it kind of ended really rushed, and most of the book suffered from middle book syndrome. So I'm really hoping that this 3rd one will be great. I have The Empire of Gold by S.A. Chakraborty. I've read City of Brass and Kingdom of Copper. I really, really like them, and so I'm really looking forward to this one. It's just really chunky. It's just really big. I'm not gonna lie to you. It scares me a little. Let's see. 763 pages. That's a lot. But that is a book that I would like to read by the end of the year. And then I have Blood of the Chosen by Janko Wexler. This is actually the 2nd book. I'm reading this one in October, but I'm using this one in place of The Emperor of Ruin, which is the 3rd book in this series. And it actually comes out in February, but I was just given an arc of this, and so I'm very excited about that. So this one is very anticipated already. 2023 release. So I'm really excited that I got an early copy of that. The next question is there a book you think could still shock you and make your favorites of the year? There are a couple. I think that Shipwrecked by Olivia Dade definitely could make that list, because, spoiler alert, and All the Feels both made the favorites of the, years that I read them, 2020 and 2021. So yes, those could. I think potentially Blood of the Chosen and Emperor of Ruin could. However, I only put 2022 releases on my favorites list. So Emperor of Ruin technically wouldn't qualify for that. But Blood of the Chosen and Ashes of the Sun already will be on my favorites. So I guess technically the whole series just could be on my favorites. I do think Babel could be on my favorites list. This book has all of the buzzwords for me, and I think it could work. It's either going to really, really work for me or really, really not work for me. It's gonna be one of the two. This will not be a 3-star book. I can guarantee you that. Those are probably like the only ones that could really stand out and still surprise me. But who knows? Because this year's reading has been so wacky. And I've read some like very weird things that I didn't expect to really love. And then I also read some really anticipated things that should have been buzzwords and should have been favorites that I didn't like. So who knows? And then the last question is, have you already started making reading plans for next year? Sort of, kind of. I have already been asked to co-host something that will be happening in 2023, so that kind of I have been like thinking about some of my long-term projects, my like video series, and I have enough episodes that they will go into 2023, so that, yes. And then other than that, I'm just like, my Goodreads goal is gonna be insane next year, because last year I tried to do this thing where I would just read one more than the year before, and I will hit that goal probably next week, if we're being honest. So like I'll probably end up hitting 150 books this year, and I don't know that I could do that again. So yeah. Anyways, that's fun. Okay, that's all I have for you today. Let me know down in the comments below if you have a book that you started and haven't finished yet and still just like chilling on your currently reading shelf. Let me know down in the comments below. And if you are not feeling chatty, you can do like a clock emoji, because we're counting down. I don't know. That is all I have for you today. If you're new here and you have not yet subscribed, there's a little red button that you can do so down below the video. If you'd like to hang out with me more, the links for my Patreon, my Instagram, and my Goodreads, and my Twitter are all linked down below. Come hang out with me. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.